I feel I got the speed over Canelo. I got the reach over him. He might got the size, the power. I got the better skills, boxing skills.
Would it be more of a cat and mouse? The reality is Canelo does put people out. From Kirkland to Amir Khan to just...
Don't do
obviously,
I'm just saying, man.
No, but he's not.
Kovalev was older. He does.
Billy Joe.
Does. Don't get me wrong. He does have a lot of power, but all those guys that you named is not as skillful as me. I'm sorry. No disrespect.
Put it to go to the 12th round. That's a mediocre mind. You need to put a good fight there and put. Great show, you know? You know what I mean?
Do you think Crawford will employ the same tactics to try and box?
I hope not. I hope not, because the people deserve.
He's not that big. You know, he heavy, but he not that big.
Right.
You know, and I'm just like, all right. I'm laughing, but at the same time, it started hitting me like, all right, man, maybe he on to something. You know, and then I started sizing him up, and I'm like, all right, well, Canelo 5'7". You know, my arm's long.
Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez clashed at Harry Reid International Airport in Las Vegas, the newly confirmed host city for their September 13th showdown. The two were set to meet near the venue for a press conference, but when they crossed paths at the airport, tensions escalated and sparked a brawl between their teams.
What you talking about? You know the real deal. You know the real deal. You know the real deal.
Somebody smack the shit out of your dumb. Shut up! Shut up!
They talk all the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won. He went up and lost. You know, so let's not do that.
As soon as the two teams spotted each other, they began shouting their fighters' names and closed the distance, triggering a clash. Crawford and Canelo rushed in to separate them, pushing their camps apart. Amid the chaos, the fighters nearly exchanged punches themselves but, preoccupied with controlling their teams, eventually pulled back and made their way to the press conference.
Great show, you know? You know what I mean?
Do you think Crawford will employ the same tactics to try and box?
I hope not. I hope not, because the people deserve a good fight.
What do you make of the Crawford fight next?
Huh?
How excited are you for the Crawford fight?
I'm excited. I'm gonna enjoy this win and then we think do it.
At the press conference, the former undisputed welterweight champion from Omaha, Nebraska spoke with confidence and authority, boldly predicting victory. I'm definitely going to beat him. He knows it. I've always said the guys who face him are always scared. But I'm here to do my job and get the win. He's a great fighter, and I respect him, but he's never dealt with anything like me. I'm coming in with a winning mindset, and I will win. He might be bigger, but he's not better.
It won't be like any other fight that he's fought recently, and it'd be a well-fought fight for both of us, I believe.
Any doubt in your mind that you beat him?
Of course I beat him. It ain't no doubt in my mind that I won't beat anybody.
Crawford's words were more than just talk. They clearly hit a nerve with Canelo Alvarez. Before the interviewer could even address him, Canelo cut in and snapped back, offended by Crawford's claim of being the better fighter. Why would you say you're better than me? Who have you fought? What's your record? What have you accomplished that I haven't? You're not better than GGG or any of the fighters I've already beaten.
For fighter 147, who is smaller than Charlo. So no make sense when you guys say that right now. At the end of the day, I don't want to have credit.
Canelo Alvarez even brought up Jermall Charlo, whom he beat after Charlo moved up in weight to fight him. You'll do nothing different from what Charlo did, and I'll deal with you both the same way. I'll teach you boxing and remind you why weight classes exist. My hands will be the ones to send you into retirement, Canelo declared before they were asked to resume their face-off. This exchange stood in stark contrast to their earlier interactions, which were marked by respect and admiration. Now that the fight is official, the tone has clearly shifted to serious and hostile.
Face Crawford, but you know, you never know. You never know in boxing. I'll go up and down and fight everybody out there. So it's possible. Why not? It's possible.
Other than the size difference and having to put on some weight, what challenges does Canelo pose once you guys get in there?
I don't know. I just think, his punching power and his physical size is the only thing that I really have to worry about. But who knows? Once we get in the ring, we don't know how I'll handle his punching power, his size. I've been fighting big.
The fiery exchange stirred massive buzz among boxing fans, heightening anticipation for the clash between these future Hall of Famers. One fan even remarked, "I can't wait for this fight. It finally feels like boxing is giving us something real after months of trash." The September 13th showdown in Las Vegas between Terence Crawford and Saul Canelo Alvarez is shaping up to be one of the most iconic battles of the modern era, with both entering as undisputed champions in their divisions.
Oh, great performance tonight.
Oh, I feel great. I win. I come to put a great show, but to put a great show, you need both fighters. So, but at the end of the day, win is a win.
Are you frustrated with Williams' score?
Yeah, a little bit, but.
Canelo currently rules at super middleweight, while Crawford holds undisputed status at welterweight. Though the American is moving up 2 weight classes to take on the Mexican star, he's doing so after carefully studying his opponent. Crawford closely watched Canelo's recent unanimous decision win over Cuban William Skull in Saudi Arabia, analyzing the champion's every move. "I don't think Canelo has declined, it was more about the style he faced," Crawford told Fight Hub TV, pointing to Skull's defensive, mobile tactics as a strategy that effectively neutralized Canelo. Over 12 rounds in Riyadh, Skull avoided trading punches and relied on constant movement, limiting Alvarez's offensive rhythm.
You just come to, you can not win a fight like that, fighting like that, and he say, "I'm sorry, it's my first time and I just tried to put a good fight and I'm so sorry." That's fine.
What's your message to fighters who will fight you in the future? Obviously not Crawford, but with that kind of mindset, they just want to last the distance.
That's a mediocre mind. That's a mediocre mind because they come just to survive, to go to the 12th round. That's a mediocre mind. You need to put a good fight there and put.
Want this fight now?
Well, I've been wanting to fight. I feel as if that's a legacy fight. I feel as if this is the biggest fight in boxing today. I feel like this fight right here is like the last of the Mohicans. We both come in an era where Floyd Mayweather was #1 pound for pound, Showtime, and HBO era, that type of era. So
out of the 152 punches Canelo threw, only 56 connected, 40 of them to the body, and a knockout was never in sight. Skull moved a lot and did a good job neutralizing Canelo's power shots, Crawford observed, though he also criticized the Cuban for failing to sustain that pace throughout the fight. Crawford has already suggested that his own game plan won't revolve around chasing a knockout, but on outclassing Canelo with sharp tactics, speed, and constant movement. His ability to switch stances, adapt to any style, and disrupt opponents makes him a dangerous threat.
Every time I see him, he'll come and be like, "Canelo."
Yeah, you know how Bill do it too, yeah.
Every time, I'll be like, "Man, come on, man."
Yeah.
So every time he say that, I just be like gradually getting into looking at okay. And he's not that big. He heavy, but he not that big.
Right.
And I'm just like, all right. I'm laughing, but at the same time, it's...
The American seems confident that with discipline, lateral movement, and sharp defense, he can offset the Mexican's power. Following the fight in Saudi Arabia, Crawford entered the ring for his first face-to-face with Canelo, officially launching the promotion for their clash. The moment not only fueled fan excitement but also highlighted that Crawford's preparation goes beyond power. He's focused on outthinking his opponent. "I see the holes in his game, and I know how to attack him," said his trainer Brian "Bomac" McIntyre, making it clear the strategy is already in motion. And while Canelo remains the sportsbook favorite, Crawford is far from a typical challenger.
I feel sorry for him. But he's boxing. He's boxing and things happen.
Did you watch the fight?
Yeah, of course. It was the fight. He was a good dancer. Yeah.
Would you rather see him fight Gus Haney again or Rowley again?
The American already holds undisputed titles in 2 weight divisions, a rare feat in boxing history, and now aims for a 3rd defining moment against one of the sport's brightest stars. For this fight, legacy carries as much weight as victory. Speaking with Sway's Universe, Canelo Alvarez voiced his openness to the matchup. "I'm in, why not? Don't get me wrong, he's a great fighter. But in my weight class, it's an easy fight, easy money. If the money's right, I'm in. I don't like fighting guys like Crawford, he moves a lot, and it's not exciting. I watched his last fight, and he doesn't move as much anymore. So, if the money's right, I'm in. Right now, there are weight classes for a reason," Canelo explained.
Madrimov, and you heard Turki Alishik say that he sent you an offer, possibly to face Crawford for coming up here. Is that true, or what happened with that?
No, I don't have any offers. And look,
this marks a noticeable shift for Canelo, who had previously hesitated to face Crawford, believing a win over a smaller opponent wouldn't earn him much credit. Crawford, however, has stayed persistent, willing to move up 2 weight classes to prove his dominance. He fully recognizes the physical disadvantage he'll face against Canelo, admitting that size will be a major factor. Still, he's confident in his ability to rise to the challenge and impose his style. Some analysts remain doubtful of his chances at super middleweight, pointing to his most recent outing, a points win over Israel Madrimov at super welterweight, which fell short of the dominance many expected.
For boxing fans, they know Crawford can beat Canelo just like they knew Bud was going to beat Vince. It's real simple. Real simple. You just got to know boxing in order for you to be able to say it.
This fight will be massive.
And you mentioned Floyd. Obviously, Floyd and Manny, a lot of people thought happened way after it should have happened. You guys are both in your prime right now. You guys are both 2 of the top 5 pound-for-pound fighters in boxing. This is the biggest fight in boxing right now.
Definitely. And that's what I've been saying, you know. You got two guys, top 3.
Despite the doubts, the potential clash between Canelo and Crawford has ignited the excitement of boxing fans worldwide. The blend of power, speed, skill, and charisma from both fighters promises a showdown to remember. Veteran trainer and boxing analyst Teddy Atlas weighed in with Ring Magazine on the upcoming Canelo vs. Terence Crawford fight this fall, and explained why he appears to be leaning toward Crawford to upset the naturally bigger Canelo.
Crawford, his composure going to be like the moment a punch lands on him from Canelo.
Are you kidding me? Take that question back.
Yeah, why?
Because you're talking about Crawford.
Yeah.
He's the
weight classes.
He's the most composed guy. Yeah. What, you don't think he'll be prepared? You think it'll be a shock to him? No. He's already moved up 3 weight classes. So now you're talking 6. If you add on 3. Crawford has the ability to slow things down in the ring that very few people...
One of the biggest questions in boxing history has always been, who wins, the really good big man or the really good little man? Atlas said. We're getting another chance to see that play out, and you can argue both sides. Canelo is simply too big, and as great as Crawford is, when he stepped up against Madrimov, he struggled a bit. He won, but the fight was more competitive than people expected. What we didn't realize was how good Madrimov really was. Sure, he only had 10 pro fights, but he also had 300 amateur bouts. He's a strong, solid fighter.
Is at a different level, just a whole different, dimension than anybody else. He sees things that other people don't see. So it's not just that he's quick and he's faster, but his timing is better because he's so calm that he sees something and he's just going to catch you. Just a twitch of your muscle, whatever it is, where you're just starting to see that.
We started to criticize Crawford a little because our expectations were sky high, and that's not fair, Atlas said. He won. He adjusted, switched gears when he recognized the level of the guy in front of him, and still got the victory. But people are going to argue that Canelo is too big, that Crawford struggled with a 154-pounder after moving up from welterweight, and now he's jumping to 168. Still, I'll make the case that, throughout boxing history, smaller fighters have beaten bigger ones. You just have to flip the script, rethink who truly has the advantage and who really carries the disadvantage.
See things that nobody else can see because he slows it down. Yeah, he's got great power. He carried it up. Yeah, he's got good hand speed. Yeah, he's got all that. He's got good technique. His coaches do a tremendous job with him. But the timing is impeccable. It's better than anyone else's. Why? because of this. But a guy has that ingredient.
The size and power of Canelo stand out, but then you step back and think, wait a second, the other guy's faster, craftier, and has more tools. Maybe he's actually the one with the advantages, Atlas said. It's like when Pacquiao fought De La Hoya, and yes, I know De La Hoya had weight issues, which is fair to point out. But still, you had a legitimate debate on both sides about who really had the edge. That's what makes this fight so intriguing. I believe Crawford is very, very special. I'm not saying Canelo isn't, but Crawford is special in a different way. He has instincts most fighters lack. It's his timing, his natural feel, the X factors, and I think those things are going to show up. I truly do.
Ahead of you. I think the only thing that, look, Paulie brought it up. There's a couple things that obviously can defeat somebody as special as Crawford. You can move up too many weight classes. I don't think that's the case. He's got the skeleton. He's got the size. He fits in good. He's a wiry guy. And
I can't wait to see a smaller fighter use those intangibles, those X factors, to topple a bigger man. Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez are boxing royalty from two different realms. Crawford claimed his throne as the undefeated welterweight king, dismantling Errol Spence Jr. in dominant fashion. Alvarez rose from super welterweight to light heavyweight, seizing titles and leaving challengers in his wake.
Every time I see him, he'd come and be like, Canelo?
Yeah, you know how Bill do it too, yeah.
Every time, I'd be like, man, come on, man.
Yeah.
So every time he say that, you know, I just be like gradually getting into like looking at like, okay.
Their September clash is shaping up to be one of those fights boxing fans will remember for decades, regardless of the outcome. The build-up to this mega fight has unleashed a wave of expert opinions and bold predictions, with fighters, trainers, and analysts all eager to weigh in ahead of September 13th.
Talk all the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won. He went up and lost. You know, so let's not do that.
WBC lightweight champion Shakur Stevenson has now added his voice to the growing list of predictions for the fight. His perspective carries extra weight, given that he trains alongside Crawford and understands his style better than most. Spending countless hours in the gym watching a fighter up close provides insight far beyond casual opinions online. Stevenson's prediction was direct and confident. He sees Crawford defeating Canelo Alvarez when they meet in the ring.
Yeah. He's strong, I'm strong.
Right.
You know, it'd be, to me, skill for skill.
Right.
You know, because Canelo not the biggest 168 fighter. So I just started looking.
The young lightweight champion didn't hide his confidence in his training partner's chances. While giving Alvarez credit for his skills, he insisted that Crawford has everything needed to solve the Mexican star. I think Bud is going to cook Canelo. I think Canelo is a hell of a fighter, but Bud has all the tools to beat him. People make the weight difference a big deal, and in some fights, sure, it matters. If this were David Benavidez, that would apply because he's a lot bigger than Bud. But with Canelo, physically he's big, but in terms of height, he's actually kind of small.
I think Bud gonna cook Canelo. I think he's gonna cook him. I think, Canelo a hell of a fighter, but I think Bud just got all the tools to beat him.
Yeah.
You don't think the weight difference is gonna be too big of an advantage?
I think y'all make that something, in certain fights,
Boxing makes it something.
like if this was like a Benavidez, he's actually a lot bigger than Bud, so that would apply. But I feel like with Canelo, he's physically kind of big.
This isn't simply blind loyalty. Shakur Stevenson has watched Crawford adapt to and overcome a variety of styles throughout his career, from his lightweight beginnings to his reign as undisputed welterweight champion. Time and again, Crawford has proven he can solve any puzzle in front of him. While many experts emphasize Canelo Alvarez's physical advantages, being naturally bigger, stronger, and more experienced at higher weight classes, Stevenson brushed those concerns aside. He noted that although Alvarez is thick and muscular, his height doesn't make him especially imposing.
You be disrespecting the top, though, I ain't gonna lie. You disrespecting the top.
Yo, I'm really 80-90% with this box. I'll be calling, but I just feel as though Bud really got all the ingredients to beat a Canelo, being south.
Crawford's former opponent, Kell Brook, is eagerly anticipating the matchup, viewing it as a battle between two elite fighters. Still, he's siding with Canelo, arguing that Crawford's jump up 2 weight classes is too big of an obstacle. Brook feels it's nearly impossible to overcome that kind of size gap against a champion of Canelo's caliber. He also doubts Crawford can follow Mayweather's old blueprint to beat Alvarez, stressing that they're very different fighters and that Canelo has grown tremendously since that defeat nearly 12 years ago.
Fight Crawford-Canelo in September. You obviously faced Crawford, so I do need your opinion on this fight. And Canelo's fought recently. What do you make of that fight?
You know, it's a wow. It's a wow fight. You know what I mean? It's two supreme athletes fighting against each other, but you've got to sway towards Canelo. Crawford's gonna have to, move up, and
He told pro boxing fans, looking back at Mayweather when he beat Canelo, he's a mover. Crawford isn't really like Mayweather in that sense. He tends to set his feet. He added, I think it's a different fight than Mayweather. Canelo is clearly a different fighter than he was when he faced Mayweather.
There's a big difference, especially with someone that, fighting a middleweight, a mediocre world champion's okay. But when you're fighting someone like, Canelo or Golovkin, it's a different kettle of fish, I have to lean towards Canelo, but, Crawford's very, very, very good.
You think Crawford's still got the legs? Obviously, he's very much.
Brook shared his prediction. I'd have to favor Canelo, just his size, experience, and ring IQ. He's experienced, big, and strong. Crawford's a smaller, sharp fighter and number one in his own right, but in my opinion, I have to lean toward Canelo. That's it for now. For the latest news, moments, events, and action in boxing, stay connected by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss content like this. Until next time, peace.